This is day 25 already of the Silent Hill 2 Remake cam hack playthrough. We've already gone through our first leg of the labyrinth. So we still have 2 more main sections of labyrinth to get through. And then the last little finale part of the labyrinth after that. Let's go check in on Maria, just because. Listen to some humming. James is not impressed. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. All right. A new face, new alchemical symbols. Let me see here. Actually got... yeah, brimstone. This is the alchemical symbol for brimstone, or sulfur, often associated with hell, the underworld. Can you not make James trip or fall in this one? I purposefully make him fall every chance I can in the OG. You cannot. You can't trip and fall or jump off of stairs or anything like that. Even with hacks, like if I spawn him way up here in the air and then drop him, nothing. Nothing. Little detail from the original that I do miss. There's our brimstone door, coinciding with the same symbol on the cube itself. So this was the rotting area that was open to us last time. You can see now it's all deloaded. Just a void beyond the door. This side is not open yet. This side is. This is actually my least favorite part of the remake labyrinth. The desolate area. I like the lighting effects. I like the things Visually, we've got more crawly spider mannequins coming back after the prison. But I am not a fan of all the backtracking through the ladders. You have like 8 different ladders. There's a lot. The original had like hallways and ladders and dead ends, but not really the way this is laid out. They really tried to expand a lot on it for the remake, and there's a certain amount have a love-hate relationship with the particular backtracking here. Like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Oleander. Like, it's supposed to be a labyrinth. It's supposed to be confusing. And it's supposed to take you a while to kind of see how everything connects. But it just feels so tedious. A little bit too tedious. Trying to get from place to place, even once you know how everything connects. Like, okay, here's this ladder, and here's this place, but this place is a one-way drop, and you have to go through this ladder to get to that ladder, to get to this one-way drop, to get to this ladder, so that you can get to this one. It's a little bit much. It's a little bit much. Would you say it's worse than 4, backtracking-wise? No. 4 had, like, the whole second half of the game going through the same areas, but you have to figure out how to do it differently because Eileen won't climb up ladders. This is only this one little segment. Also, Pyramid Head does show up in this segment. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of the larger scrapes and gashes and some of those distant metal banging, stomping sounds that we'll eventually be hearing. Lots of little clues, things to infer Pyramid Head's presence here. The slatted closet. Very similar to the one that James was hiding in during the Pyramid Head encounter in Woodside. Wouldn't have minded the back and forth here if there was anything engaging going on, but it's a lot of repetitive scenery. It is. It is. And I definitely agree with that. For example, it's something that I feel Shattered Memories did pretty well. Where a lot of times you would go through an area, and then you would have like a big prolific moment that leads to a chase sequence through an area that you've just been through. But everything would be covered in ice, structures would change, the way things connect would change, new things would be in the environment altogether. So it's not just backtracking by itself that I don't like. Backtracking I actually can enjoy a lot in games, but it needs to be done in an interesting, engaging way. And most of this boils down to look at your map. Where is the ladder? What is the hallway that leads to that ladder? What is the ladder that leads to that hallway? Like, you're just sort of having to reverse your steps so often. Like, you see where you need to go, You just have to, like, physically go there to see how each ladder connects to each hallway. And again, that gets mixed up with your one-way drops and doors. And again, we had the symbol for sulfur and brimstone. And we're starting to see elements of fire, things that have been burned. I feel like we've got little bits of the hotel kind of starting to show up here. A little bit of foreshadowing. Same thing for the way even the walls have the paint peeling. It's more like an extreme heat type of peeling away. Water damage as well. Oh yeah, especially once we start dropping down and actually going through water. Kind of this combination of water and fire both being destructive in their own ways, which very much feels like the Lakeview Hotel. So we have this that all opens up and loops around, and then this locked door that we can't go back through. Crawl spaces. Sound design in this part makes my skin crawl, though. Yeah, I mean, the sound design is all still on point. Some great sound effects, creature sounds, ambient music. I love the distant, sort of dissonant tones. All right. Can't even crawl through that until we get to the other side and push the thing out of the way. Hey, Theo. Go back to this door. If Angela's the firebender and Eddie is the airbender, who is the earthbender? Laura? Mary? If you finish the game without checking the map, there's an alternate ending nobody knows about. That is provably not true. I have several friends who speedrun this game. I'll be learning to speedrun this game once I'm done with this playthrough at some point. Yeah, moldy. But, yeah, do you think speedrunners take their time and look at maps? No, everything is memorized. It's all a memorized route. floral pattern on the blankets. Yeah, roses. But one of those really common, recurring themes, motifs throughout the game, usually associated with Mary herself. The wallpaper in James and Mary's house, the blanket that Mary's body is covered with. Lots of floral motif around Mary. And now we're down into the water. Nice. I like seeing the lighting come through these sort of cavernous walls. I love how Oleander going through this long Wikipedia copy paste of like all the symbolism behind roses, and this is where I sort of, as a Silent Hill fan who's been obsessed for a long time and put a lot of time and effort into understanding and researching these games, I don't always think they're that deep. I think it's more along the lines of Mary liked flowers. James even brought Mary flowers when she was sick. Remember when Mary said, "Flowers, I don't want any damn flowers"? Remember that? So having the sort of built up idea, Mary likes flowers. James tried to make her happy, bring her flowers when she was in the hospital, but she was so distraught from her illness and from her impending death, her own mortality, that even things that she once loved, like flowers, like James, she was starting to lash out against. I don't know if getting into the individual potential symbolism for every single flower that ever gets shown throughout the game is necessarily what the developers had in mind. Then again, forget-me-nots. Clearly there was some thought put into that, being on Mary's blanket covering her body. But how many other types of flowers have we even seen throughout the entire game? I feel like it's more of a general flower motif, maybe not necessarily deeply symbolic for every single one used. But I could be wrong. Bluebird did a lot of research. They put a lot of detail into things. Do we know when James's birthday is? September 23rd, 2001. No, I don't know. I don't think we are ever given a birth date because we're never given specific dates for the original Silent Hill games in general. The original developers didn't really want to stick these games into a particular timeline. So they left a lot of dates and references to time periods and things like that omitted and ambiguous. There's even interviews with Keiichiro Toyama all the way back from Silent Hill 1. Saying they specifically didn't want to give a specific time or place that the first 4 games sort of existed. Sorry, let me catch up on chat. Speaking on symbolism, I have a question about a passing theory I read, color symbolism, and why James's jacket is green. Because it's a reference to Jacob Singer's military jacket in Jacob's Ladder. It's a movie reference. I think you might be overthinking. Just check the manual and it's not there. Mandela'd myself. Yeah, there's definitely no birth date given. We didn't even get the characters' ages when the game originally came out. That wasn't until supplementary material, different guides, and things came out much later. A lot of specific information on the characters and anything that could allude to like time periods or places was all intentionally left vague. That loops back around this way. Unfortunately, it's just kind of a lot of hallways. Could have sworn I saw blood types mentioned somewhere. Well, in Japan, blood types are looked at kind of similarly to the way that a lot of Western culture and a lot of culture in general looks at astrology and horoscopes. The idea that your blood type discerns the type of person you are, your personality and things like that, is a big part of Japanese culture, which is why a lot of Japanese games typically include blood type information for their characters. The blood types are what you thought were in the manual, but they're not in there. Yeah, that was not in the original manual either, in any region release. Maybe for the Pachi slot, there were some pretty thorough character profiles For James, Eddie, Mary, Laura, when the Pachi slot released, they all had like these big long character pages that you could look at. So if you may have seen those online somewhere. Konami are natives of Japan, by the way. Soul Disney. Soul Disney. Nothing official about what the shoulder patches are about either, which is kind of frustrating, but it does allow people to make stuff up. They are, again, supposed to be somewhat reminiscent of military patches without directly being military patches, because they probably wanted to make something that references Jacob's Ladder without directly referencing Jacob's Ladder. That's usually Team Silent's style, especially back then for the original games. You reference something and then slightly modify it. You know? You reference Raiders of the Lost Ark, but you replace Indiana Jones's whip with a gun, and you call the movie Shoot. You reference Die Hard 2, but you put a little MS Paint hair on Bruce Willis, and you call it Crusher Dan. You reference Portishead and the All Mine single cover, but you change the P to an R. The big capital P to an R. So it was just sort of like, they like to reference things. They like to show things that inspired or influenced them, or things that people on the dev team just personally liked, and include little references of it in their games. And I think that's pretty much all as far as it went, you know? A lot of stuff like James's jacket and the patches and things like that. It's like, how can we reference Jacob's Ladder, but just slightly modify it? We got a key, so we're fancy fingered. Let's go. We're officially fancy. The playthrough is officially fancy today. Pinkies out, people. High class. I'd put this game on a pedestal because it's a masterpiece. I agree. Like, I love this entire series, but Silent Hill 2 is kind of in a class of its own. This has been my favorite game for the last 24 years. September will be 24 years. Love the red lighting. Also a little bit of foreshadowing with the red light bulbs towards the hotel puzzle. Kind of linked with the red from the save points and everything as well. So this dead ends. This loops around to ladder 1. But now we have a small key. So this, in the original Silent Hill 2, the key, you got the prisoner's key, and undo the cuffs holding down the gate as your reward for the hanged man, the innocent prisoner puzzle. It's sort of interesting the way the remake kind of combined puzzles and then spread out these little segments, having the actual hanged man or hanged prisoner puzzle happening much earlier throughout the prison rather than being this little segment of the labyrinth, and then expanding this part of the labyrinth in a new way. Look out, James. It's coming right for you. Taking its sweet time to attack? Oh, he's just being a silly little guy. Why hasn't anyone done the stick bug dance with a mannequin edit? Well, Tassadul's a great animator. You could commission Tassadul to do it. You just got stick bugged. Neat, 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 neat. If I was James, I bet it stinks in there. You know, it was something that I actually talked about pretty early on in this playthrough and in my story playthrough before this. You find a note. It's specific to the remake. It's not in the original. But you find a note where somebody is talking about the creatures, the manifestations, and describes them as looking like they should stink, but they don't. They have no smell. And it always makes me kind of wonder. We do see moments where James will, like, uncover things or find things, and he reacts to it as though it has this terrible smell hitting him all at once. Like when you open up the refrigerator with the guts in it. Stuff like that. But it does make me wonder, like, how far does that go? How far can the manifestations, because, like, this whole area is a manifestation. So is it only the creatures that don't smell? Is it anything that's not, like, part of quote-unquote normal reality? Anything created by the town? Even though we see James react to certain things. Down here where we were, looking at the holes. Up from there was this graded floor separating up where we are now. Movable cart with cloth and yellow paint. I love how these things still just kind of show up. Oh, there's actually stuff inside. Medical trays. Those, like, steel medical trays that we've seen in Brookhaven. I've clipped into so many things in this game, and usually there's either just a very basic texture or nothing rendered at all. But it's always a pleasant surprise taking the camera inside of an object and finding something in it. That crackling electricity. Our wire cutters, presented very similarly to how they are in Silent Hill 2 Original. And this is one of those things, again, I feel is a reference. One of the very influential filmmakers that inspired Team Silent was David Lynch, rest in peace. David Lynch is a big fan of utilizing electricity, the visual of it, and the sound of it in a lot of his work. Ancient Oleander. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Kikyo. Kikyo, enjoy the sub. Enjoy the emotes. Thank you so much, Oleander. Thank you, thank you. So this now connects back to that first area. But we've got a one-way drop into this new room. Fridge. Quite possibly the cleanest looking fridge in the entire game. We've looked at a lot of fridges, a lot of refrigerators and freezers throughout this playthrough, and even with some questionable stains and a little bit of rust, I'm pretty sure this is the nicest looking one we've seen. Ooh. I love the out of bounds shot of the red lit part of the underworld area below the floor. Henry's fridge was pretty clean at the start of Silent Hill 4. Not the dream sequence after that. Well, the dream sequence, it's not Henry's fridge. It's Joseph Scriber's. The intro dream sequence is not Henry's POV. You're playing as Joseph. That opens up this door back into this area with the holes in the walls. The fridge you get the chocolate milk from is specifically is pretty clean. Oh. Now we start hearing the metal dragging and scraping. Our foreshadowing to Pyramid Head. I mean, it's clean until the cat corpse haunting. I just wanted to see if anything changed in the room there after the sound effect. Because it kind of sounds like it comes from the room up above you there. And rocks fall. The whole party dies. That nice dust particle effect. Everything kicked up from the rocks. Konami watched the Indiana Jones movies? I mean, Team Silent, like members of the dev team, definitely did. They put the cover of Raiders of the Lost Ark in Silent Hill 1. Slightly edited, but it's there. Team Silent, so that means there's a Team Noise. If I ever get to make a game, that's what I'm going to call my my dev team, my studio. There is a Team Silence as opposed to Team Silent. Bonus points if anybody knows what game Team Silence made. Time's up. Time's up, chat. Team Silence is what Tom Hewlett called his dev team when working on Downpour. What's the name of the current Konami Silent Hill team? There is no internal Konami Silent Hill team. Currently, everything is being outsourced to other people. Hexadrive did Short Message. Bloober Team did Remake. Genvid did Ascension. Neobards is doing F. No Code is doing Townfall. Exclamation point. Okay, so this is totally a movie reference. Having all the bugs run away when Pyramid Head shows up. Absolutely a reference to the original Silent Hill movie. Insert Metal Gear Solid sound effect. So, Mr. Shy Potato, at first I thought you said insect Metal Gear Solid sound effect. And for a moment I was like, you know, the bugs do kind of sound like the sea lice in Metal Gear Solid 2. And then I realized you just typoed. It does, though. They sound like the sea lice in MGS2 that you can drag Emma through. Don't shove me, big bully. Why you bully me? Sorry, scrolling up. Trying to read chat. Kabi-sama said some people seem to think Short Message was done by an internal Konami team for a bit. Wonder if they had any basis or some random rumors spread for engagement. It's sort of fan hearsay, rumor type stuff. I think a lot of it came because Hexadrive themselves also has a lot of their employees who were like formerly on PT and some other projects in past Silent Hill history. So people, I think some fans probably assumed this was some like internal Konami thing, but yeah, Konami at this point is just a publisher. Had no idea they were on PT. Not like all of Hexadrive. I mean, it's literally, I think, 3 or 4 people on the whole team. Also had minor roles on PT and stuff, so. Ow. 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 I'm looking at my map, bro. I didn't mean to take out my map. I have my map and my heals. Both are configured to buttons on my mouse that are right next to each other. And I fat fingered it. Exclamation point. This side. That's cool. So he appears from whichever direction you try to go first. You're gonna set the bugs on fire. You monster frisbee. I love you, James. ... exclamation point. Although, if they can put in these little moments of like ... exclamation point, couldn't they have put in more text? Couldn't there have been more internal monologue text at times? That's one of the things from the OG that I really missed. And, like, clearly it's something they can do. You could have implemented it in this same way. Oh, look at that. Seems like they focused a lot more on visual detail. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, chair leg. They put a lot of care. Like, look at the insane detail on these character models. On the environments. Their focus was on more important aspects. Even if there were some little things here and there that I missed from the OG that I wish would have been included or referenced or in there somehow. It's all like pretty minor stuff. Nothing that like ruins the game experience for me at all. This is still an excellent game. The Pyramid Head tongue, that is definitely a big one. That is a big one. We needed his little panel that slides open and his tentacle tongue to pop out. That would have been really nice to have. And we can't even put that on Bloober Team, by the way. Ito was 100% behind this Pyramid Head design. This was all him. So he made changes that he thought would be appropriate. James is like, haha, you can't reach me now. Pyramid Head is confused. He's just gonna angrily pace back and forth. Thank God we don't have the Pyramid Head DVD model. I just hate the whole buff thing they started doing since the movie. Yeah, progressively, Pyramid Head's design really started getting more and more sexualized as time went on. I've actually seen a pretty funny, like, comparison meme called the bimbofication of Pyramid Head, based on a stupid internet meme where there's like the nerdy girl holding a book, and then she drops the book, and then she picks the book up, and like each step of the process, she's like, her hair goes to blonde and her clothes get shorter and all of that. Somebody did that version, that meme, with Pyramid Head, where he starts off his Silent Hill 2 model, and then he drops his sword, and he goes to pick it up. He gets buffer, the skirt breaks away so you can see his ass. He gets taller. I mean, the actor who played Pyramid Head in the movie literally had his ass hanging out. You can see it in behind-the-scenes footage. No pun intended. And I think you even get a little glimpse in the actual movie. Most suppressed or oppressed people or possessed people relate. Damn, Robert. Bars. Bars. Ito himself has also done female Pyramid Head-like creatures. He did. And they had pyramid butts. They had, like, skirts or dresses or whatever that was around their waist. They had pyramid butts. Ito is a fetish artist? I mean, he literally is. He has an alternate Pixiv account where he posts all of his adult drawings. But it's his thing, and he's not afraid to incorporate it into his designs, and God bless him for it. The man loves World War II era tanks and German bondage fetish magazines, and he lets the whole fucking world know it. Kudos. Props to Ito. Whole world ahead of us. Yeah. Just a completely devoid black image with scratches on it. The 3 scratches are your clue for the third letter in the phrase. For the "you've been here for 2 decades" Easter egg. But also just the symbolism of James and Mary thinking they had the whole world ahead of them. Never know when that's going to be taken away from you. Cherish each day. Can't remember, is Ito involved with F? No, he is not involved with F. As far as I'm aware, the only original dev who's going to be involved with F is going to be Yamaoka. And Yamaoka is just doing the Fog World music. The rest of the soundtrack and the other world and everything else is being done by Kensuke Inage. Did a lot of music for Tekken and Yakuza and Dynasty Warriors. We have this open up. This door is boarded up. Is this intended? Oh, it is. Interesting, it doesn't show the... Oh, there it goes. I was like, it's weird that I'm over here and it's not spawning in the map. Murphy, get those boards off with your axe? Hey, Alex Shepard was doing that before Murphy. Credit where credit's due. Is that all that's here? Just the, supplies. Furniture covered with a sheet. Take the other ladder. All right, the door. I actually managed to get Pyramid Head stuck in my first playthrough, so that I had plenty of time to like look around in here, because we've got Pyramid Head's room, his chamber, the background of the Misty Day painting. The hanging corpses. This is where you would have gotten the great knife. This is where I'd put my great knife if I had one. It's another thing I'm upset is not in this game as like a usable weapon. But in the original Silent Hill 2, this is where you would pick up the great knife. Several pairs of forceps. All the like medical tools laying around. Do we have the cages on top? Got this one here. Got this one here. And there's silly little gimp masks. Some foreshadowing to Maria's death scene with the two pyramid heads later, as well as the Mary appearance for the boss fight, final boss. Were there bodies in the OG? Yes. Oh yeah. Little zippers on them reminds you of the lying figures. Very reminiscent of the lying figures. Some of them have this same lace, sort of stitching them. Also somewhat similar. Look how long the arms go down. Very similar to the mandarins. We're seeing a lot of thematic, similar imagery towards like the enemies, foreshadowing to Maria and Mary. Again, these specific red bulbs, which they even make a point of emphasizing through a puzzle in the hotel. The fan spinning and dragging. The shape of the blades, reminiscent of the great knife, giving off sparks the same way as Pyramid Head dragging his around. I'm a little surprised there's not more of like a little nod or reference or anything to the Great Knife being in the original game here. We've got all these forceps. They should have put one little pair of broken scissors. Since the Great Knife itself is designed after a pair of scissors, Ito originally wanted, for the original Silent Hill 2, Ito wanted James to have the Great Knife that he uses be the opposite side of a overall large pair of scissors, if it were like combined with the shape of Pyramid Head's Great Knife. Although, potentially, the reference right now, compared to the original, could be that the Great Knife is not here because Pyramid Head still has it. At this point in the original game, Pyramid Head was not using this. He had a spear. Same spear that we saw him using in the Brookhaven chase sequence. So I guess the reference is you can't pick it up because he still has it, rather than swapping out for the spear at this point. Can you imagine Pyramid Head at one point getting the two knives together and being a big giant scissor? Then it would have just turned into Clock Tower. That's just Clock Tower. Different game. Did Nito do the creature design of Clock Tower's spiritual successor, Cry of Fear? Yes. Yes, he did. He made a scissor creature for Cry of Fear. Little bit of a design change for this room, but I kind of miss the big fan being part of the ceiling in the original version of this room. Because the original version of this room, when you first walk in, it's like this view. You have like a static overhead camera view with the fan like right there. Do you know if any of these assets you look at up close are low res, but were probably higher res on release? So at some point I'm going to need to see about potentially down patching to a 1.0 build, or like an early launch build before all of the optimization fixes, because I do have that suspicion as well that originally these things were probably higher res higher definition assets, and people were running into a lot of compatibility issues and frame drops and stuttering. And I'm thinking when they went through and did their optimization fixes, that's a hell of a pose, yeah. When they went and did their optimization fixes and patches, I'm wondering if they lowered the resolution on some of these assets to try to help performance. James the ballerina. Yeah, he's just casually pointing his feet in two different directions, while, like, barely bending his knees. There we go. Power stance. Rude. You good, bro? He was, in fact, not good. Oh? I wanted to see if we can get him stuck, like in my first playthrough. Well, that gives us time to look at everything. All the damage on the actual great knife itself. The pin and the handle where this would connect to create a large pair of scissors. You can see the little zipper parts on the calf of the boots. Oh yeah, really good details on the character models, on Pyramid Head's model. Where's James? Oh. For some reason the character model went invisible. Okay, fine. Okay, so like the moment... Look how far he's already teleported. The moment you cut through here, Pyramid Head goes super fast. Because he has to get around here to stare at you from the other side of these bars. See? And it gives us some nice thematic imagery. Same as looking at him through the bars when we first saw him in Woodside. Same as how we were seeing Maria in the cell. Just like old times. Oh, there's James. Didn't Luke do it? Yeah, Luke, they're making a joke, Oleander. But Luke Roberts actually was the Pyramid Head mocap. So it was James's actor doing all the mocap for Pyramid Head. Let's see if coming back through prompts him to stand here and stare again. No, I think he's over it. Now he's just gonna hang out over here. And then once James goes upstairs, Pyramid Head just goes and stands in the corner. There was the little hole in the wall we were peeking through, looking at the electrical box. What do we think? Fancy finger for the wire cutter? Hey, look at that. Wire cutter is actually a key. Fancy, fancy. Someone make a fancy finger mod for the OG. That would be hilarious. And we're back in this room. Just want to take a nice look at the save point again. Kind of been looking at a few of them, not all of them, but some of them throughout the playthrough. Curious if the animation or the design or anything ever changes. Yeah, that swirling, sort of churning red texture. Now we've got our bolt cutters. Our wire cutters. We need to go top right. Which is where I was when I picked him up. end. And there's the wires. The flooded area map. Handgun bullets and a dresser at the end of the hallway. Yeah, it's fine. At least there's something. You're revealing the lore? I mean, you're definitely revealing something about yourself. But, you do you, Robert. You do you. Still looking for those light bulbs, yeah. They're gonna be in the hotel. They're gonna be in the hotel, 100%. We're all just having a good time? Exactly. It's all good. Ito loves this stream. I don't know if Ito knows about my stream or not. But Hiroko Usuda, the environment artist for Silent Hill 3 and 4, has visited, hung out with us in chat, and watched parts of this cam hack playthrough and parts of my Silent Hill 3 cam hack playthrough. So we have had Team Silent members come here and enjoy the stream. By the way, let me tab out real quick and do a shout out for Hiroko Usuda. There you go. Because she also streams and does artwork on Twitch. So you should definitely go and follow her. More and more light bulbs. We're getting closer. I can smell those freshly canned light bulbs already. Another floral pattern chair. Is that the same one? Maria was sitting in? She was sitting in a floral patterned chair, kind of similar to that one. Average grandparents' furniture. Here we go, James. You gotta do it. You have to do it. Even if you don't want to. Oh, just like before, we actually do have a visible pit. I almost kind of wish there wasn't. Whenever you land in these new areas, the idea that it doesn't make any sense how you got there, there's not even like a hole that you fell through. There was a hole here, it's gone now. But we've seen by looking out of bounds, there is a lot of situations where the levels are connected. Like if you clip out, you can find other areas, other places. And that's leg 2 of the labyrinth. Storm is rolling in hard over here. Stay safe, Kikyo. Theo, gotta hop off for bed. Have a good night. Take it easy, Theo. Have a good one. Just checking in on Maria. Because why not? The wall here is still the same. Don't know if I've got moderators active right now. Please keep chat in English. Me and the moderators cannot moderate languages we don't know, sorry. I believe that was Cyrillic. Oh, I do as well, but I can't read it, I can't understand it, which means I can't moderate it. Neither can my mods. I have one moderator, who actually can. But Captain Blatt is not here. Which is why I am asking you, as your friend, as your streamer, to please keep chatting English. Thank you. I'm like, I know there's a photo. When you rotate this, your best buddy with 3 highlights around the door. 3rd letter. The, you've been here for 2 decades Easter egg. You know what I haven't done yet? Just hang out up here. Little bits of trash on the floor that has now rotated up to be the wall. A new hallway awaits us. This whole segment of the labyrinth also feels very PT inspired. Having the repeating occurrences going through these hallways. Like, they needed to extend the labyrinth area. I get why they wanted to extend it, but also just feels like they took a nice referential method towards PT for how they extended it. Having you solve the puzzle and loop back to the same hallway multiple times. The nods to the other games through design is my preferred narcotic. One of the reasons I love this remake, same. Referencing other things in the series just through visuals and audio and sort of the way certain scenes and things are set up without being a direct reference, just similar enough to make you think of those other games. A few direct references, definitely some Easter eggs and like more direct references to certain things. But I love how having repeating hallways that change colors and stuff very similar to PT without just flat out blatantly being like, hey, look, PT. Which they could have done, you know, but this sort of stuff is really cool. I like it. Incorporating a lot of those things into the design rather than just sort of copying them verbatim. And here we are in this familiar location. This room that we saw in Woodside Apartments. This place that did not belong to the apartments. This was James and Mary's home. Mary's deathbed. Parts of James's memory that were manifested back in the apartments, now being manifested again. I don't think there's remnants of the pictures. Yeah, when you see this room in Woodside, their pictures are here. But now everything is just blood. Is it being their home confirmed or just a theory? Well, as far as being... Let me try to think of how this goes. It is confirmed that Mary went home after being sent away from the hospital. It is confirmed that they went to Silent Hill on vacation, that they did not live there. So we see James in the chair next to this bed, next to Mary's body, in his sort of final delusion talk with Mary. So this setting is very, very heavily implied through both the original and the remake to have been James and Mary's home. It did not literally exist in Woodside Apartments, if that's what you're asking. Because there are a lot of fans who misinterpret these sorts of things. Like, they didn't live there, they vacationed there. And then James never took her there again. Not while she was alive, anyway. It's seen during the Revelation videotape too. That lends credence. Sort of. Remember, that tape is also not literal. Nobody was standing there with a video camera filming James killing Mary. It's his memory manifesting onto a tape. What's the post on the table? It's a lamp. It's the base of a lamp. Or a candle holder. But there is a lamp sitting here in the not messed up otherworldly version of this location. But if it's his memory, it's most likely their home. True. As said, it's very heavily implied that this location is James and Mary's home. It's being manifested from his mind into reality when he visits in Woodside Apartments, and then again here. Flowers. When keeping, or in keeping with the floral pattern. Floral motif. Don't want any damn flowers. Again, it's sort of implied through the scenery, through Mary's clothes, through their home, through the blanket that's on her. All these things that sort of give you the impression that Mary was someone who loved flowers. And again, I think that goes in with that moment of her lashing out at James. Doesn't want any damn flowers. She doesn't care anymore. She's just sort of given up. She knows she's going to die. And the things, the people, the places that she loved, she starts lashing out at them. Same radio that we find in the apartments, hanging from a cage. There was originally a little desk right here when you see it in Woodside. The electrical plug is still there, the cup, the pens, the pencils with the ruler. The desk itself is all gone. You pick up Mary's flower handkerchief from this spot when you visit in Woodside. This right here. Same paintings that are in this room when you visit in Woodside. Portrait of a deer, but you can see there's a sort of menacing looking wolf off to the side. The same way that Laura draws James as a wolf or a dog. the lighthouse. Somewhat tying in with James journeying towards the light, the Lady of the Light, even without the Lady of the Light. Just going from the original, which the Lady of the Light was not a part of Silent Hill 2 OG. But you still had James rowing across Lake Toluca to get to the Lakeview Hotel, following the light. Nothing rendered behind the doorways. Just seeing if they have any interesting or unique books we haven't seen yet. But looks to all be the same. We have the door itself, very reminiscent of the red squares, especially towards the end with the 9 red squares, which, according to Masahiro Ito, represented each of the 9 main manifestations from James's mind. So throughout the game, there are 9 creature manifestations that belong to James. Who wants pound cake? It's moist and delicious, perfect taste. It's got strawberry swirl with real strawberries. That actually sounds really good right now. And butter cake. And Vice biscuits. White fudge. Chocolate sandwich biscuits. One of the dead giveaways that Bloober's a Polish studio. This is America. If it's got fudge and chocolate in it, it's a cookie. We don't call that biscuit. Tins for keeping their macchia tea fresh. And there's the box of macchia tea. I love the ambient music here. It almost sounds like the Silent Hill 3 Game Over sound. Slowed down. It sounds like what? It sounds like the Silent Hill 3 Game Over music. So here, I'll pull it up and play it for comparison. That's not it. Okay. So that noise right there. That noise right there. When you get game over in Silent Hill 3. Now listen to the ambient in the background of this. I'm waiting for that specific sting to happen again. Like, this whole thing kind of sounds very similar, but there was one part in particular. Cookie brand cookie. Hey, those are props from the original Silent Hill 2 that they recreated. Same with Buttercake. Same with Buttercake. Buttercake is so iconic, it's an equipable artifact in Silent Hill Book of Memories. In Book of Memories, you alter your stats on your character by equipping artifacts. And the artifacts are all little references to Silent Hill things. So there's like Robbie the Rabbit artifact, UFO artifact, stuff like that. One of the artifacts you can get is the box of Buttercake. It's that iconic from Silent Hill 2 and 3. They reuse it in 3 as well. Yeah, that little part of the music there. It sounds like the Silent Hill 3 game over, just like slowed down. Can't shoot out the window. This is a Book of Memories reference, a little dungeon with enemy waves. Yeah, exactly. We just broke a challenge orb and had to suddenly kill a bunch of enemies in a small room. It's just like Book of Memories. Curious what happens after the door locks if we come back this way. Can't shoot out the windows. Can you look behind it and see if anything's rendered there? I tried. We're surrounded by void. I mean, there's red hallway, but mostly void. Actually, that's a whole different part of Red Hallway. Oh, right, because that's the Red Hallway we came through. First entered this room, and then we can go through here for the continuation of it. Everything else outside of that is void. Door stays locked. I love the progression here. Everything deteriorating as James progresses. His mental state breaking down, his delusion breaking down, forcing him to confront reality. We loop back into yet another recreation of James and Mary's home. Repeated for emphasis. Here you can see the lamp that I was referring to, although this is still there, and the texture is wrong. For some reason, they applied the wrong texture to the lamp. You can see it's not stretching and everything properly, and that part looks like fabric. Don't think that's intentional. The bed is clean, well, cleaner than when we saw it before. I love the nurse just smashing through the wall, Kool-Aid Man style. She's even waving. Hey, it's me. I wanted to see that. I wanted a nice camera shot of that. Because it's something that I hadn't done myself in any of my playthroughs so far. You don't have to actually kill everything during these segments. You can just wait until the alarm starts getting crazier and crazier, and then stops, and the door opens. I usually just fought everything. But it's actually not necessary. It's faster. But you don't have to do it. Looks like that actually despawned the mannequin here. Oh no, it's there. It just died. It just flopped over. Won't they start crawling away from you here on out? No, that's not until the last segment of the hotel. Oh, dude. The lighting coming through the grate. Even more deteriorated. Each time we go through the same hallway. Another version of their home. Bed now with the bloody body-shaped stain. Nub, would you sleep in that bed? For the right amount of money, I got medical bills to pay. If I was on Fear Factor and they recreated this room perfectly and said, we'll give you $1 million to sleep in this bed for one night, I'd be like, all right. Do I get some pajamas or am I going in there commando? Okay, Spider-Man, chill. Holy shit, this looks rad. This is such a cool looking game. Again, Bloober, even if I've never been a fan of their writing and their gameplay, their pacing, and their characters in their other games, they've always done really impressive visuals. Really detailed environments, really cool visual effects. And I love seeing the way they handled a lot of this stuff for the remake and added all of these new sort of set pieces. Looking around out of bounds everywhere. James isn't hallucinating at all then? That is actually completely legit and confirmed. In supplementary guides and developer commentary. A lot of people confuse hallucinations with manifestations. The spiritual power that surrounds the town is able to take aspects of your subconscious and make them real. They are not real in the sense that they are not naturally occurring things, but they are real in that they are tangible. They are not just in your mind. They are not just hallucinations that only you can experience. Do you think Mary had a heavy hand in Maria's creation? She did. She did. She is not exclusive to James. Born from a Wish from the original Silent Hill 2 proves that. She's not strictly James's desires or memories. She has Mary's feelings. You could argue that James and Mary were close enough. They shared a lot of memories, that could explain certain things. But she had Mary's feelings. She felt that she cared about Laura. She remembered Laura. Somebody who James either didn't know or blocked out any interaction he would have had in the hospital whenever she would have been around. Based on Mary's letter to Laura, where she says, I know you don't care for him, you can assume that they vaguely knew of each other before the events of the game. But Born from a Wish shows us that Maria has Mary's memories and feelings. Her physical appearance is shaped by James, but she has her own personality, she has her own will, and she has Mary sort of filling in her memories and feelings. There's that Silent Hill 3 game over noise again. James thinking about those canned light bulbs. How much he wants them. Oh, there's even a little room. There's a little room for Pyramid Head to pop out of. Got him. Got you again. Got you again, chat. And notice the way some of this is the stumps from the mannequins, but these are also the feet from the morgue area at the end of the prison that are sticking out of the little holes in the walls. Can't wait for Cam Hack Silent Hill 1 remake. Oh. Oh, this whole area's changed. That whole segment moves around. But yeah, Silent Hill 1 remake cam hack, definitely going to happen when that game comes out. Silent Hill F cam hack, coming soon. Silent Hill F. We're going to be playing Silent Hill F in 90 days. "90 days. We will be playing Silent Hill F. And it's also Unreal Engine. So there will be cam hacks for it pretty much immediately. Three more months, that soon, yep. September 23rd. If you pre-order the deluxe edition and get the 48-hour early access, it's 90 days away. 92 days if you get the standard. Don't forget about Townfall. I mean, we just don't have more information on Townfall. I wouldn't forget. I'm guessing it got delayed with the whole Annapurna thing. But they tweeted that development was still happening. It didn't affect no code. Just the publisher. Room 208. Finally made it to the other side of this door. Crazy to think we skipped all this by clipping through these bars and then interacting with this door. Everything, like every hallway segment from the rotating cube, all of these little set pieces and gameplay and everything, just by going through these bars and touching this door. It's kind of crazy. How about it, James? How you feeling? Significance of 208? You know, there's a lot of things you could speculate on, but there is no definitive answer. The room James and Mary stayed in the hotel? That's not true. That was 213. Or 214? It's not 208. It's a different room number. We'll find out when we get there. 312. I was way off. I had the numbers just in the wrong order. But no, they didn't stay in 208. Some people speculate this may have been Mary's hospital room, which we never see. they do repeat 208 in a number of ways, not just in the remake, but in the original as well. Was 208 something important in the OG apartments? So there's a lot of recurring 208. So 208 in the OG apartments in Woodside is the Whisper Room. It's the room next door to the Whisper Room. So those two rooms are connected by a balcony. You go in, you have the random whisper sound effect that can happen. You go out onto a balcony, you cross the balcony, and then you go into 208 to get the key that leads to, I believe that's the fire escape key? Or the key that goes and opens the door towards the pyramid head fight in the original. You get a key off the pillow. Then 208 in the hotel in the original. When you're outside of room 208, you hear a very specific, distinct crying sound effect. Somebody sobbing that only happens outside of room 208. So it's a recurring thing without being too specific about why. So a lot of fans have theorized on it over a long time, something we've never gotten a definitive answer to. Again, the most common theory is that this was Mary's hospital room. But even that's unconfirmed. Just speculation. Same hallway you find the Cinderella box? Yes. Where the briefcase puzzle, the 4-letter word puzzle is in the OG. Oh, you don't have to apologize, Shy Potato. It's all good. I actually talk about 208 because I had to research it and verify all of those points of information when I was editing my Silent Hill 2 iceberg video. Because it's one of those things that I knew the theories about it, but I wasn't sure if it had ever been confirmed. It was one of those things I had to go back and double check a lot of my incorrect memory and double check a lot of developer commentary and a lot of supplementary materials when I was putting together the Silent Hill 2 iceberg, because I've got a little part of the iceberg talking about 208. But yeah, one of those just mysterious recurring things in Silent Hill 2. All right, it's time for this scene.
Maria.
A little bit wider perspective. Mary. Yeah, we found out that we can skip this. Not the same chair we found in the labyrinth. Yeah, we saw it pop in for a moment there, but I noticed that too. The bed does get bigger, by the way. So a lot of times when they're handling the visuals for these cutscenes, they have a specific camera view in mind. So of course, using the cam hack to kind of break that, we can see how they alter things in the environment just so that they look better, more cinematic in terms of the cutscene. So the bed extends this way to be a little bit bigger whenever it's showing that angle of Maria laying here. They did the same thing when you first come in here and talk to Maria through the bars, where in order to make the dramatic sort of depth of field effect of Maria being in focus and the bars sort of moving towards the camera, rather than move the camera itself, they move the bars. So like we watched that scene zoomed out and you could see where the prison bars themselves were like moving side to side, shrinking and growing, and moving closer to Maria, closer to James, depending on the angle and the shot. James's face always being shadowed in a lot of these shots through the free cam is amazing. You know, it's a byproduct. It's a happy little accident of the mod. Whenever the game world is paused, we get this nice dramatic lighting on his character model. Because once I actually set all of the game world to animate again, the lighting pops in. And it's not quite so dramatic. But when you just pause everything and then move the camera, looks so good. Of course, we've got the pillow down here. Definitely a deliberate choice. And after the cutscene, this door is locked off. Is this area unloaded? No, it's not. Huh. Well, I like how we can see the actual lighting change. It's his flashlight. Nice. Protagonist is not always the good guy? Yeah. Oh. We got Mary's gasp. Mary's gasp there as you're walking away after the Maria death scene. Again, that part of James's subconscious keeps replaying that final breath of hers. But yeah, protagonist does not mean good guy. Protagonist means main character. Antagonist is somebody who goes against what the main character is trying to accomplish. Sometimes antagonists are good guys, sometimes protagonists are bad guys. Love this track. Love the music here. Oh yeah. And I mean, this is classic Silent Hill 2 track here. There's a lot of music that was redone, re-recorded, new versions of it made for specifically the remake. But there's a lot of moments where they keep just the original, unaltered track. And this is one of them. This is an important one to keep. The rotating head puzzle completely gone. Little bits and pieces of the stand and everything still here. With these symbols. Let me pull my alchemical symbols reference guide back up. Something that I've been referring to quite a lot while working on the Silent Hill 1 iceberg. Triangle with a cross. That's another depiction for sulfur. But it's reversed. Let me check some other ones, because there are different charts with slightly different meanings on a lot of alchemical symbols depending on the book of origin that they come from. So there's a triangle with a cross coming out from the tip of the triangle, the pointed end, which would be phosphorus. And there's a variation of the triangle with a cross on the flat end that can also mean sulfur. But usually it's depicted with other small arrows. There's one somewhat similar to it. Phlogistique? Phlogistique. Phlogiston theory. A superseded scientific theory postulated the existence of a fire-like element. dubbed phlogiston, contained within combustible bodies and released during combustion. But none of those symbols are exact. They're similar, but not exact. They're pyramids. That's the most simple way to look at it. Pyramid head. Oh, they are different. They are different. Cross on the flat end. Cross off of the tip. A few different variations. Or at least these two. So the cross coming off of the flat end is sulfur. And the cross coming off of the tip is phosphorus. So, I mean, we're essentially using alchemy symbols to give the impression of fire and brimstone. It's hell. This is my sword pulling face. That's definitely the next video's thumbnail. I like his little wiggle back and forth animation. James doing his best Final Fantasy character impression. Use your Buster Sword, James. If only we could actually swing it. It even has a materia slot. Tank controls on the greatsword? Not exactly. Like, they're very slow, awkward directional controls. They're not tank controls. Tank control would be left and right, rotates me left and right. Instead, it's more of a strafe. I mean, I guess it is rotating. It's still not quite typical tank control. But kind of. Okay. Question is, can I teleport around while holding it? Kind of. He floats. Maria, look what I've got. Look what I found. He looks so much bigger? Yeah, he's just floating. There we go. Try to spawn him a little closer to the ground. The puzzle came back. Oh, there it goes. Okay. That's kind of neat. Is it a proximity thing? Like if you get far enough away? Oh. What happens if we spawn in here? Well, that answers that. James, please. There's ladies watching. I don't seem to be able to make contact with the ground anymore. That might be a problem. I also can't seem to put the sword down. What? What? What was that animation? He looked like he was actually going to swing it. Oh, it's when you actually, like... Oh, if you try to move backwards. That's what he does to, like, turn around. God, that's such a tease. It's practically an attack animation. I'll kill you, Sephiroth. I would really like to be able to interact with the save point. Because I could potentially fix things if I can save. It doesn't seem to be an option. Oh. Oh, thank God. Wait, don't clip through the ground. Let's not save over the last save. Just in case things are still broken. There's your dramatic James image. You ever just get tired of looking for your dead wife and return to Monkey? Flashbacks of Travis picking up items in Origins? Yes. I was gonna say something, but I wasn't sure how many people would even get that reference. If you're holding a two-handed throwable item, two-handed throwable weapon in Origins, and then you pick up an item from the ground, this is how Travis picks it up. It's one of my favorite things to show during Origins playthroughs. Okay, there's the full walk cycle for that go in the other direction animation. It's actually really cool. So this is a fun little reference, by the way. A few different references going on. So the hallway with the wiggly legs was a part of the original game's intro sequence, as well as some promotional images, where you saw a bunch of wiggly mannequin legs getting sucked into a hole, and then the same footage in reverse, like they're flying out of a hole. Along the side of a hallway and everything as well. And then there used to be, a long time ago, there was a fan rumor, essentially, back in the days when video game rumors were still a thing. I guess they are still a thing, but it's less of a thing now that people data mine and disprove everything, like prove or disprove everything much easier. It's much easier to test things and show if they're real or not. But back in the day, there used to be a fan rumor that in the original Silent Hill 2, once you have the Great Knife, you could turn your flashlight off, and as you would approach enemies, they would run from you. They would disperse because they would think that you're Pyramid Head. Now, this is something you can very easily test. It's something I have tested in several of my playthroughs. I show it in a few different videos. I think I mentioned it in the iceberg video. I mentioned it in the loop theory video on my YouTube. And it was something that I've even done modified full playthroughs of the original Silent Hill 2, where I dragged the Great Knife from the very start of the game all the way through the game. You can beat the original Silent Hill 2 with just the Great Knife equipped. It takes a very long time, but it's doable. That video is also on my YouTube channel if you want to see it. But yeah, Bloober Team referencing some Silent Hill 2 fan theories. Okay. Can I teleport up to the top of this ladder? Probably not. No, because it's like a whole new area that needs to load in. I wanted to see if I could take this with me. I mean, it's like right here. Surely we can make this work. Oh, can I not pick it up again? Can't pick it up again once it's here. No. All right. Oh, hopefully power doesn't go out. Got a bad storm rolling through. Okay, thankfully at least we've got a save point. So we'll look at Walter Sullivan's grave and all this other cool stuff next time.